because he was worth a lot.
He was worth
Bank
a lot.
accounts, businesses, life insurance.
Yeah.
Come on now. She probably got damn near probably $1 billion.
She down there, yeah.
So let's just say, even if that's the case, right? How many Jake men are she gonna be able to find? Because women want you to be over them.
Yeah, that's on that level.
That's on their level. So how many Jake men are she gonna find that's
Of
worth
that
$1 billion to keep her where she's at, maintain it, and all of that? So what's she gonna do?
She's
More than
surrounded
likely get an Edomite man.
She's surrounded by poor Jakes. Like I said, she's gonna get an Edomite man
And all them riches and
hence
resources.
Sell out, gonna get transferred right
back to the Edomite
to the
side.
white man pocket, and that's his tactics, man.
Mm-hmm.
They did this with the Native American woman. I'm gonna go back to the scripture, but they, did it with a Native American woman. She possessed oil. She basically had an oil rig here in the United States. I think it was somewhere in the Midwest, and Esau knew of her money, and basically he married her, and then they had a relationship. The lottie-dottie do bullshit, and latter time in their relationship, I think her mom got put to death. Then her sister house got burned down and she died. And then she eventually started connecting the dots and figured out it was his ass. And she basically tried to go to the authorities and basically get him, prosecuted or whatnot. Get him apprehended by the government. But then her ass got put to death, and all that money. She had a lot of money, man. Mm-hmm. All that money went straight to his pocket, man. I'm pretty sure he's living off of the wealth to this day.
Can I bring a quick precept up for you?
Yeah, you got it.
This is Deuteronomy 7:3, and it says, "Neither shalt thou marry with them; thy daughter shall not give unto his sons, and nor his daughters shall thou take unto thy sons." Because when you marry, it's what we're speaking on. That's a union. So it's like, and there's laws dealing with inheritance. Mm-hmm. So it's like we say, if your man dies and he gives you these riches, you're supposed to marry an Israelite, because it keeps all the riches within our circle. That family. Now, if I'm a rich Israelite man, like imagine if I know I'm an Israelite, and I'm going against that law, and I'm like, but I really love this Edomite woman. Well, what happens? She's gonna take care of my children. I'm gonna make sure she takes care of my children. So I'm gonna leave money. She's gonna take all of that. It's wealth. And Jake don't understand that shit.
They
man.
don't understand it. See, Jake just looks at money in the now.
Yeah.
But they don't understand generational wealth. That's why when the elites and they're known to intermarry in their own houses. Not because of the fact of incest or things of that nature, or just wanting to be, close kindred. Even though Esau's a freak, but the point of why they do that is to keep their generational wealth inside house. They don't want outsiders touching, a red cent, man.
Well, Jake don't understand that either. Jake will look at you weird because you dealing with one of your cousins.
Yeah.
Jake don't, again, this is a mind frame. Jake has a peanut brain. Mm-hmm. They don't understand. Like you said, even with who was that? Was it Caleb?
Oh yeah.
He said if you kill, I'll give you my niece. But he was also the nephew. That was his uncle telling him. He's like, well, hey, if you do this, I'm gonna give you my niece. So they would have been very close relatives. Yeah. But Jake don't. We don't understand the value of family. We don't understand. Jake don't have value in shit.
Yeah. What scripture says, this is a people that's robbed and spoiled.
Yes.
You get Jeremiah 17:4 too. But you go ahead.
It said, I'm gonna reread the whole thing. Baruch 3:8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
We are yet this day in our captivity. And when you held captive, like the scripture says, they held captive and held them fast, and they wouldn't let them go.
Yep.
They kept them restrained. Now, was Baruch, did he have shackles on his ankles while he was writing this letter? No. All right, but he understood that he was in captivity. Hell, they had right to even publish the Bible. They were writing biblical scripts in their captivities. So they had a level of liberty. Some of them were actually even like Daniel. Daniel was basically in the king's house.
Right. Well, they had a big level of liberty. All the way starting the book of Ezra. They got the liberty to rebuild the temple, and then you go into the book of Nehemiah, they got the liberty to rebuild the wall.
Rebuild the wall, that's right.
Then you got the liberty to publish the books. That's in Second Ezra, the 14th chapter. Mm-hmm. Publish the books.
And they find it a lot of times. I think it was Xerxes. A lot of them played a major part in helping us rebuild the temple and the things of that nature. Which they were still the enemy, but that shows you how much liberty even the heathen gave us, but we were still in captivity. Cyrus, yeah, which we were still in captivity though. Baruch still acknowledged the fact, even though they had certain things in their possession, which during that time Nebuchadnezzar tore down the temple, but they still had a level of possessions. I'm pretty sure they had gold and silver. They was exchanging. They wasn't using goddamn paperbacks, greenbacks. They had resources to a certain level. They probably had a level of things that they could generate wealth with, but that wasn't the system of rest. As it is written, this is not your rest. This place will destroy you. Keep going.
It says, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power.
Keep going.
Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
Yep. Give ear to understand wisdom, which the wisdom comes from the law, statutes, and commandments in the whole entirety of the Bible. Keep going.
Verse 10. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land?
That thou art what?
Are in thine enemy's land.
Whose land? Who has full ownership of this land? The so-called white man. This is the enemy's land. Right. Now, it once was occupied by our brethren, the Native Americans, but they lost the war to the white man, and the white man gained the victory.
That's it.
That's why the Native Americans are subject to payments, and they have a birth certificate. They're spoils of war. Going back to what I was saying before. Whenever you get the victor has the decisive victory, he has all possession of things that's on the field.
Yeah, that's your kill. You decide what you want.
You decide what you want. And what did he do? He raped, robbed, he plundered, he massacred, he burned down, and he had a full scale takeover. That's why you have Stone Mountain, where you got big faces of devils, man. Plaques of devils all over the United States. You got Mount Rushmore. That's why you have the $20 bill, the $100 bill, the $50 bill, $5, $10. All of them are Edomites, man. All right, and the Native they didn't think about putting the Native Americans on any of the coinage. Yeah. To give them a little bit of credence. Now you have this one woman, Sacagawea, well, she was a coon, man. Yep. She was basically a native version of Harriet Tubman, man. Right. Literally.
Any Jake who get recognized by Esau was a coon or a tomahawk.
Was a coon or a tomahawk now. That's the only ones that will put in the history in your face. That's why in Whack History Month, better known as Black History Month by you Jakes, who's the main face of Black History Month is Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
And in most cases they'll put, like in school, I had my Black History they'll give you individuals and you study on them. I had Louis Armstrong, which he was a good musician. But what a lot of those Jakes that was musicians that were known, or athletes, what was the black baseball player? Jackie Robinson.
He's a sellout too.
They were all in the system.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass. They just helped further the system, man.
Cause was the devil Jackie Robinson, that nigga. Well, because because you had because you had the Negro Baseball League at the time, and that was a major league. That was booming. It was exciting, right? But then here he is. Oh, I want to go play with the white people and deal with this bullshit. So he was one of the ones that make it where, oh well, this is actually better. He chose his oppressor over
his brother.
His brother, yeah.
Because you have an institution where you could be separate, and you could build off of that. If those Jake still had those, if Jake had that separatism, yeah. What did they call it? The term during that time? Nationalist. If they had that national segregation mentality, and they kept. If segregation stayed from back then all the way until now, Jake would have a level of power.
We would have took this place over.
We would have took it over.
Like look at Kyrie. Which Kyrie might not even be in the league much longer, man, because he's talking too much shit. He's promoting that they should that the players should start their own league.
He was saying that to the Nets, his Nets teammates.
Yeah.
It ain't private no more.
Yeah, because a coon exposed it. Because it's called strategic silence, man. Sometimes you don't let people know your emotions.
You don't let people know your emotions.
But that's the thing. Like you said, imagine if the NBA players said, man, fuck the corporation of the NBA. We all millionaires. We could put out, LeBron put up 100 million. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan.
LeBron another Jackie
But that's what I'm saying. They're all a bunch of Jackie Robinsons. That's why even there's a split in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I got some. This is Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies,
You got something?
which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger,
Uh-huh.
and in thirst, and in nakedness.
Read that over, Slocky.
All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies,
Yeah, you started.
which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst,
Yep.
and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Yeah, it says you shall serve your enemy for hunger and thirst and nakedness and the want of all things. Whatever you want and you desire, it has to be given to you from this white man. And that's plain and simple. Like I said, we understand that. So we understand what we're fighting against. And do we play his game accordingly? Hell yeah. If you want something, you're gonna go to the white man for the one of all things. Because the Lord really established it to be like that. He said if we were to break the law, statutes, and commandments through Moses, see, if we were to do what was right, the Lord would put us on top. If we did that which is wrong, so the Lord put us on bottom. It's punishment. Just like when you in if you're a child and you do something that you didn't cooperate with the rules of your parents. Your parents tell you to clean the house and do this and that before they get back, and you fuck it up more, and they throw your ass on punishment. You got to take accountability. But you got what? Jake's whining and screaming, like I said, doing all this, whimpering,
Yeah.
falling all over the ground and throwing a temper tantrum. That's some women's shit, man. We take accountability for where we went off and our forefathers went off, which we were our forefathers in reincarnation.
That's right.
And we could stomach it. We could stomach the fact that this white man has us down. He has his foot on our neck. Because what? At the end of the day, we have hope. We have hope and faith that Yahweh Shah will deliver us, as it is written. Keep going.
All right, continuing on. I'll start from the top again.
Okay, that's
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
Yeah, most service-based jobs, which they call blue-collar work, is occupied by blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which they call in today's time is also wage slavery. You get paid wages, minimum wage. You think these devils on these high boards, these multi-millionaires, get paid by the hour?
And even
Hell
if they
no.
did, that hourly pay would be crazy.
$10,000 an hour.
Fucking $100,000 an hour.
$100,000 an hour. You know? And then Esau knows the system. They know how to write things off. They know they have people in their back pocket. Like if Esau gets incriminated upon charges, what do? They pay for the top lawyers.
File bankruptcy.
They know how to file their different chapters.
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11. You know? But you Jakes don't have that level of right. And they have something known as white privilege. Like you said, we have the pheromones of just being cursed, man. People see us and they want to go, what they say, when you move in, there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right when you move in, you might be an alright middle class black family.
Law-abiding Negro.
A law-abiding Negro never got locked up a day in your life. You move in, now everybody in the neighborhood looking at your ass, man.
Moving out.
Yeah, they moving out. You moved in, and that shit just dropped the what is it called? The value, the value of the whole block.
That's why, look, what I think that happened with LeBron. They wrote and spray painted nigger on his shit.
Yeah.
They don't matter.
No.
You a top basketball player and a nice nigger. You're a nigger still. Don't matter.
Yeah, in the eyes of them. So that's why with Kanye West, he's a fucking idiot himself. He's just a double-tongued nigga.
Yeah.
But he had that song "New Slaves."
Yeah.
Kanye West, where he's basically speaking about how it went from them kicking you out and not wanting you in the areas to come in, nigga, spin. Gucci inviting you in because they know Jake has possessions, and that's the only thing they want to use you for, man.
Yeah.
And that's why it says what also the borrower is subject to the lender, and the rich ruleth over the poor. We always got to borrow from this man. But as we lending the white man, I just loan, I had to loan a couple Edomites, $100,000. I'm gonna get $250,000
With usury.
Yeah, off usury. But you can put usury on the nation.
nations.
But what Jakes that's really doing that? We don't know anybody that's doing that, man. Even these rich athletes and entertainers, they don't even have certain power where they're doing things like that. You don't hear about that shit.
I got a
You got
precept for you real
something?
quick. In the law and the curses again. This is Deuteronomy 28 and and 43, and it says the stranger